The Pulsar N250. Well, a lot of you may not be familiar with that name, or you might have not heard much about it yet. And rightfully, because I haven't either. To be honest, I've hardly seen any in the streets in Goa. That does raise a lot of eyebrows in today's motorcycle market. Moreover, you'd be wondering why I chose this bike. Well, in this video, I'll be sharing my ownership experience with the Pulsar N250 over the last 5000 kilometers and the reason I chose my bike, or rather the Pulsar N250. I won't be getting into the specs of this bike because, as you all know, it's all over the internet. So as you can see, I've completed 5000 kilometers and that brings us to the after sales service. Basically, the first 3 services are free, where you pay only for the consumables like engine oil filter and chain lube, and the remaining are paid like most other manufacturers. Initially, before the first service, I did notice the engine heat up quite often, but that was sorted after I got my first service done at 450 kilometers. The first service cost me a reasonable rupees 715, and now recently I got my second service done at 5000 kilometers, wherein I got my chain tightened as it had gotten a little bit loose and was making some sort of sound. Secondly, I got the rear monoshock adjusted one step up on the softer side, since the stock setup was a bit stiff, and while riding solo for someone like me who does not weigh much, it kind of felt uncomfortable. So I got that adjusted, and of course the engine oil and oil filter change. All that just for rupees 576. A part of it being that cheap was because I'd done an oil change at home after 1000 kilometers, wherein I got 2 liters of engine oil, and the Pulsar N250 requires just about 1.3 liters. So I used the remaining 700 ml and a 500 ml top up for my second service. Well, that sums up the after sales service. It's definitely pocket friendly, unlike its competitors, and I've had a pretty good experience so far. Next up, kitna deti hai? A major factor in India considering the fuel prices. I've done multiple mileage tests from full tank to top up, and I've got mileage figures somewhere between 38 to 40 at around 70 to 80 kmph. The maximum I managed to get was around 45 kmpl, riding at around 50 to 60 kmph. That's in 5th gear. Its full tank range is pretty impressive too. It should return you around 400 to 450 kilometers, keeping a minimum of 2 to 3 liters of fuel as reserve, since it's a fuel injected bike, of course. Coming to the engine performance, I must say the engine is very refined, unlike the previous Pulsars. The power delivery is linear, unlike that on the KTMs, and it's still got enough power to maintain decent speeds and put a smile on your face. I managed to hit a maximum of 132 kmph on a short stretch. I believe it can go up to 140 given a way longer stretch. But again, this bike isn't meant for all-out performance at the top end. The ideal cruising speed would be between 85 to 95 kmph. Beyond 7000 rpm, there's a noticeable amount of vibration, but then again that's manageable. With regard to heating issues, I have no complaints whatsoever because I haven't faced anything yet. The oil cooling system works absolutely fine. I have no complaints with that. You can take a look at it. Here's a radiator. Oh, and yes, it's got a single horn setup, unlike the dual we saw on the outgoing Pulsars. Oh, and yes, the best part about this bike has to be its exhaust sound. It simply has to be the best sounding 250 in its segment. The exhaust note definitely complements that engine performance very well. Let me just start it up for you and show you what it sounds like. I've heard a lot of people complain about the absence of sixth gear. Trust me, at no point will you feel the need of a sixth gear. The gear ratios are tall and well integrated. Gear shifting is precise too, besides the false neutrals at times, but that's fine. The addition of slipper clutch is an added advantage altogether. The chain, however, did get loose gradually and began making a bit of noise, so I got it tightened during my second service. Since then, it's been running pretty fine. Coming to the weight of this bike, I must say it is on the heavier side, and you'll feel that weight while reversing the bike and turning it around in congested areas. I dropped my bike twice, once while taking a sharp U-turn and again on an off-road trail. On both occasions, the bike didn't really crash as such, but due to the weight, I had to drop the bike off. Thankfully, the crash cards did a brilliant job and the bike escaped without any damages. Let me just show you the crash cards. See these scratches right here? I scratched both my crash cards. So yes, the crash cards are definitely purposeful and not a gimmick. So it's running on this Grimeca brakes. I like the bite of the front brake. It has good stopping power and the ABS is well calibrated too. Unfortunately, that's not the case with the rear brakes. They feel very spongy at times and you literally have to press them hard to get some amount of feedback out of it. Also, mine being the single channel ABS version, my rear tire has locked multiple times. So I'd suggest you definitely go for the dual channel ABS version. To add to it are these MRF Malogrip Zapper tires. They are absolutely horrible on wet roads and loose mud. You just don't get that confidence leading your bike on corners or riding on trails. They are fine for daily commute and city use, but if you'd want to tour and ride on ghats occasionally, I suggest you swap these tires for some better ones. Coming to the suspension setup, telescopic forks up front and a preload adjustable monoshock at the rear. The rear is a little bit firm, but that helps in the high speed stability of the bike, whereas the front absorbs bumps quite well. Another major highlight of this bike has to be its projector headlight. It does a great job at night. The light spread is far and wide, providing you with more than enough visibility. You won't ever feel the need to get any auxiliary lights or whatsoever. The DRLs look pretty cool too, and so do the rear tail lights. Let me just take you around. I doubt you'll be able to see, but yeah, it's got this nice crystal effect which looks pretty cool. So that's the low beam. The high beam is even better. The rider's seat is very comfortable. There's ample of cushioning. However, the pillion seat comfort is debatable. I personally found it fine, but the people I've taken have all complained that it's too hard, so that could differ from person to person. The riding ergonomics are on the sportier side on the N250, so you do lean forward a little bit with the foot pegs set slightly rear, but it doesn't cause any discomfort as such. In fact, I found the N250's sporty riding posture more engaging over the F250's slightly relaxed and upright posture. The mirrors are wide and offer a great field of view. I haven't faced any electrical issues as such, besides the one horn connector that got loose. I got that rectified during the second service. The Pulsar N250 comes equipped with a lot of handy features like gear position indicator, 2 trip meters, average fuel economy, instantaneous fuel economy, and distance to empty. Although they aren't very accurate, it's still a welcome feature. I'm glad it does not have any unnecessary features like Bluetooth connectivity that I'd never use. The paint finish and the quality is certainly an upgrade over the outgoing Pulsars, be it the plastic tank extensions or the side panels. Everything seems so well put together. Last of all, the looks. Well, that's subjective. I personally feel it is a very good looking bike for that price tag. just that the rear tire and alloy could be a little wider. That would perhaps enhance the rear view more, along with much better grip on the road. Nevertheless, it is still an amazing bike overall. To conclude, here are a few accessories I added to my bike. First of all, the mobile mount. So I'm using this mobile mount from Grand Pet Stop. I did not really require this charging port and cable provided by them because Bajaj provides a USB charging port stock fitted. Next up is this screen guard right here. I got this on Amazon from this brand called Nikavi. I don't know if you can make out, but see this slight edge right here. So basically this entire instrument console is protected with this screen guard. It does a good job. Next, the typical Pulsar tank pad. And yeah, I did get these bungee straps right here. So I made this by myself. This side and yeah, this side. So in case I'm touring, I can mount my luggage on the rear seat, strap them up here, and across the rear grab rails. And next I got this wrapped. I wanted to get this wrap right from the time I booked the bike. So initially it was silver, but then I'm not a fan of that silver paint finish. It just did not sync with the bike's color overall. So I got this panel wrapped on both the sides. And next is not a modification as such. It's just that I did not like the decals, the stickers on the mudguard that you get stock fitted. So I just got them off. There's a few things I'd want to install on my bike later in the future too. First of all, it has to be lever protectors because I've already dropped my bike twice and I don't want anything happening to my brake lever and my clutch lever. So I'll probably get lever protectors installed on both ends. Next up, maybe adjustable levers, a visor, if I can find something which goes along with the design of this bike, because there's a lot on the internet but none of them actually fit this bike well. Tires, I desperately need to change these tires. That's going to happen pretty soon. And yeah, I'd probably switch to Motool's fully synthetic oil after my third service. That's pretty much it. In case you like the video, do give it a thumbs up, do like, do share, do comment, and most of all, do hit that notification button and subscribe, please. I hope you liked it. I hope it was informative to any one of you who is interested in buying this bike, or in case you know anyone who is interested in buying this bike, do share it to them. And if at all you want more content with regard to the Pulsar N250, head to my Instagram at alistair.37. There's a lot of pictures, videos of all the places I've ridden and taken this bike over the last 5,000 kilometers. So yes, head to my Instagram at alistair.37. And in case there's anything you feel I missed out on, feel free to drop it in the comment section below. Until then, take care, ride safe, and yes, bye-bye.